Someone you love is gone, and you know that. And still for a moment you reach for your phone to tell them something. You set 2 cups on the counter before you remember. You hear the door, and your chest lifts, certain it's them. Part of you keeps waiting for a person who is never walking back through that door. That gap between what you know and what you feel is grief, and it can hurt more than almost anything a body can survive. Here's the strange part. You understand completely that they are gone. You were there, you saw, you know, and still some older part of your brain refuses to believe it. To see why grief hurts the way it does, you have to look at what your brain was actually holding. In 2008, neuroscientist Mary Frances O'Connor put grieving people inside a brain scanner. She showed them photos of the person they had lost. The pain centers lit up as expected, but so did the brain's reward center, the part that lights up for someone you love. Yearning, she found, runs on the same wiring as craving. Grief isn't just pain, it's love with nowhere to go. O'Connor spent decades on a single question: why the brain takes so long to accept a death. Her answer is that your brain never stored that person as a fact. It stored them as a prediction. Every day they were near your brain learned one rule: they are here, they are close, and they always will be. It built a map of the world with them woven into it. That map doesn't update at a funeral, so every morning the brain predicts a world that still has them in it, and every morning reality returns the error. That mismatch, fired again and again, is the ache you feel. But why would evolution build a bond that hurts this much to break? In the last century, psychiatrist John Bowlby studied children separated from their mothers. He found a system every human is born with called attachment. It keeps the people you depend on close by making distance feel like an emergency. A separated child doesn't go quiet. It protests, it searches, it calls out. That protest is built to pull a missing caregiver back. Grief, Bowlby realized, is that same ancient system firing in an adult. The searching for a face in a crowd, the calling out into an empty house. Your mind running the program built to recover someone for someone it cannot recover. For most of human history, distance was the threat and the bond brought people home. Death is the one separation the system was never built to understand. And this isn't only in your mind. Grief moves into the body. In 1990, doctors in Japan described a strange kind of heart failure. After a sudden shock, often the death of a loved one, a healthy heart would suddenly balloon out of shape and start to fail. On the scan, it looked like a Japanese octopus trap, a takotsubo. A flood of stress hormones had physically stunned the heart. Doctors call it broken heart syndrome. It is real and it can kill. Grief raises stress hormones, disturbs sleep, and weakens the immune system. Studies of widows and widowers find a spike in death in the months after a spouse dies. Researchers named it the widowhood effect. The body, like the brain, treats losing your person as a threat to survival, because for almost all of human history it was. And we have carried this for a very long time. In a cave in Iraq called Shanidar, archaeologists found a Neanderthal buried tens of thousands of years ago surrounded by clusters of ancient pollen. Some believe his people laid flowers with him. Deeper in time, in a pit in Spain, lie the bones of dozens of early humans carried there and placed together more than 400,000 years ago. Across the world, our ancestors painted their dead in red ochre, folded their bodies as if asleep, and left gifts for a journey. We are the species that refuses to treat the dead as simply gone. Long before writing, before cities, we were already grieving. The ache you feel is older than language. So why does grief so often feel like something we're doing wrong? In 1969, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross described 5 stages: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. But she was describing dying patients, not the people left behind. Somewhere along the way, we turned it into a checklist for grief, a staircase you climb until you reach acceptance and step off. Real grief almost never works that way. Researcher George Bonanno found it comes in waves, not stages. Calm for a while, then a song, a smell, a date on the calendar, and it returns. And the goal was never to forget them. In the 1990s, researchers described what they called continuing bonds. Healthy grief, they found, doesn't mean letting the person go. It means carrying them with you in a new form. The conversations you still have in your head, the advice you can still hear them give. You don't get over them, you learn to carry them. Which brings us back to the empty chair, the one your brain keeps setting a place for. It isn't a malfunction, it's a measurement. The size of the absence is the size of the love that filled it. You grieve in proportion to how much someone mattered. A bond that left no mark would leave no wound. So the pain is not a sign that something is broken in you. It's the last thing that bond can still do. Your brain spent every day they were alive, learning that they were here. Grief is that lesson slowly, painfully being unlearned. And it never fully finishes because some part of them stays mapped into you. That is not a failure to move on. That is what love leaves behind. So when you reach for the phone or set the second cup and feel that drop in your chest, that is not you breaking. That is the oldest, most human part of you, still keeping a place for someone who mattered. Grief is the proof that they were here, and that for as long as you carry it, they still are.